Hi guys, and welcome to EEE World, the YouTube channel dedicated to electrical engineering. In this video tutorial, we're going to walk through the basics of Proteus software. We're going to see how it works and what it's all about. Let's get started. The first thing, if you have installed Proteus in your computer, you can easily go to your desktop and select it, or you can come to the search bar and type the Proteus, and it comes Proteus, and here we are. So basically this is the IDE of Proteus, and we have here the save, open, project, new project. We have the home page, we have the schematic capture, we have the PCB layout, we have the 3D visualizer, and so on and so forth. If you already have some projects on which you are working, you can see them there, most of them. And we have the same thing here. We have open project, we have new project, and so on and so forth. Actually, Proteus software is a very good software, and it is used generally for simulation of electronic circuits. So if you're building an electronic circuit, you want to see the functionalities, you want to see if it actually works, you can first of all simulate that in Proteus before you actually implement that in real time. So Proteus has two main parts. We have the first part, which is the schematic capture, and it's usually called EASIS, and we have the PCB layout, which is most of the times referred to as RS. Here is 3D visualizer. We're rapidly going to start a new project, and to do that we're going to click on new project, and it's loading. Now we have a set of information to fill, so you can actually decide the project name that you're going to use. For the, I can wipe this, for example, and the project name, I can put it to be new project. Okay, and I click next, and simply click next till the working page opens. Finish. And here is the working environment. As you can see, it's really nice. This is the working space, and we have many components here and many functionalities. As you can see, we have here rotate, we have here the component mode, and so on and so forth. So how does it work basically? We have this P, which is for components, and you can come here and select components and look for them. You write it there. If I need a resistor, for example, I simply click here, I write here resistor, and a bunch of resistors appear, and I can choose, or I can simply come here and type capacitor, and here are capacitors. We have many types of capacitors. We have ceramic capacitors, we have electrolytic capacitors, and so on. If I need an electrolytic capacitor, for example, I type here electrolytic capacitor, and there are a bunch of electrolytic capacitors I can choose and decide, and take maybe according to the voltage, according to the power rating, according, and so on and so forth. There are many things. Actually, I can close this. So for now, we are going to simulate a basic circuit. In order to see the functionalities of Proteus, we are going to make a LED blink, to put on a LED and put it off simply. To do that, we simply come to this P. We first of all ensure that this component mode has been selected. Then we come to P, and we are going to select the components. The first thing we will need is a light emitting diode. So I'm going to press here LED, and I'm going to select the LED that I want to use. Here is purple LED, red, white, and so on and so forth. I'm going to pick a yellow LED and double click, and notice that when I double click it appears here. We have here LED yellow. The next thing I'm going to take is a resistor, and there are many types of resistors. I'm going to take this one. We have many types of resistors. Let me take this one. And one thing that's awesome about the software is that you can simply select any one and modify the characteristics later on. So here is the resistor, and as you can see, this is the PCB layout of this resistor. As you can see here, PCB preview. So it's actually a surface mount resistor, and this is the size. We have the length here, which is 2 millimeters, and this is important when you are going to make the PCB layout in RS. As we said, it has two parts. This is actually easy, in which we are putting and designing, putting our different components, but after that we can also move to RS in order to make the printed circuit board of what we have realized in EASYS. So that is actually how it works. The next thing, we're going to take a power source, a DC power source. For that, I can come here to generator mode, and this is DC. I can take this, select. When I've selected, I simply come on the working environment, I click there, and it's already on the working surface. I come back here to component mode to take my resistor and my LED. I click on the resistor, and one thing that's really fabulous is that you can change the orientation. You can rotate left, rotate right, and so on and so forth. I come here on the working environment, I click and I paste. Now if you want to delete a component, for example, you simply come on the component, you right click and you press delete. Or if you have the component here, the easiest way is to right click twice, a little bit faster, and the component is deleted. So I'm going to put my component here, and the next thing is that I'm going to take my LED. To select the LED, I'm going to change the orientation like this. But also you can, when you have pasted the component, you can also right click and change the orientation, like for example the X mirror, the Y mirror, for example. And you can also decide to rotate left or to rotate right. So that is it. I can now select this like this, and I can carry it over and over and place it where I like. Okay, the next thing that we're going to need is a switch, because I want to switch on my LED and later on switch it off. So to do that, I come to this component mode, I select it, then I come to P, I come to this same place again, and I'm going to type here switch, and this is the one-way switch. I simply select that, and the switch has appeared right here. So that is it. That said, I can come now here, and I can put my switch to control the LED. I can put it right here. I can put the switch here, and I carry this up again. So that's set. I have my LED. Now to make the connections, I simply, for that, let me shift this right here like this. Okay, I select, I shift it. Okay, now to make the connections is pretty easy. I simply select this, and I come and click here, and the connection is made. I do same right here and here too, and that's okay. The next thing will be to add the ground here. We need a ground because we have a 5 volt, we have a power source here, and to close the circuit we need the ground. So I'm going to come here, and and select the ground. We have the ground. I select ground. I simply click on it once, and I come and paste it right here. Now the next thing we're going to do is to adjust the component values. So I double click on this power source, and here is 0 volt. I can put the 5 volt, for example, 5 volts. And I'm going to change the value of this resistor, because the role of this resistor is to protect our LED from excessive current. Therefore, it should be a little bit consistent. If not, the LED is going to be destroyed. So right here, I'm going to put the value. I'm going to take 120 kilo ohms, 120k on resistance. I can also decide and change the name and call it R3, for example. It all depends on me. Put OK, and that's all for the system. Now, in order to simulate, we can come here. We have here play and stop here. So if I press on play here, the simulation is starting. And if I come right here and press this, as you can see, the LED is blinking. And to switch the LED off, I simply press this switch, and I have turned the LED off. So it's pretty simple, and there are many things, there are a lot of things you can do here. There are many components. You can come here, for example, you have AC voltmeters, DC voltmeters, DC ammeters, oscilloscope, and many other things that can be used to visualize waveforms. We also have here text. You can decide and put text. To do that, I have to stop the simulation first. You can decide and print and type the text that you like, and I can use the text, for example, my project. You can write it there. I can decide and increase the height, and there are many things you can do. Click OK. You see here is the text, my project. So there are a bunch lot of things, and if you want to go back, for example, this is the back arrow. You press here back, and so on. Now you can save your project again. You can save what the work you've done. You can open a new project, and you can start a new project. So actually it's pretty simple. If you have an object, for example, right here, you can decide and put it here, or when you have the ground, you can decide and rotate it right here. Actually it's very simple. It's a very nice software, but very simple to use. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and share, and hit the notification box in order not to miss our next videos.